God damn it, Key. Yeah. Fail. God damn it, Kevin. Yeah. Fail. God damn it, Key. Yeah. Fail. God damn it, Kevin. Alright. Welcome to Joe's Sexy Recap, episode 11.
Hello everyone, I am co-opting Joe's Sexy Recap, and this will be Dalkepeice Theater for week 11, as Joe is not here for the session. So to start off with, we had, of course, Como wasn't here, Chad wasn't here, and is Kate's character still alive?
Yeah, but he's dying this week. He doesn't show up.
Okay. And maybe Doorman wasn't here. So, the picture, inserted here, or at the end of the episode...
Assuming it gets drawn.
Yeah. Assuming it's get drawn, will be Chad saying the prayer over the two characters that died last week, while Joe, or Tiracomo, is completely blinged out with all their stuff that he took from their corpses, with Boozeball's skull being used as a cup, as he would have wanted. So, when we last left the party, they were swimming through a tunnel, going from one room to the next. They emerged in another room, where there was a large pool, and Dildo and Spike expressed extreme distaste for water, and they immediately started to get out of the pond. As soon as their feet touched the ground, a pair of water elementals appeared. One of a demonic nature and another of a celestial nature, which freaked the hell out of our evil characters. Combat was of course joined, and they were in part warranted in their concern, as Dildo got the evil smited right out of her. She fell unconscious into the pool, where she spent most of the combat. Thankfully, due to the quick fisting action of Den of Love, in every orifice, she survived.
Ooh, you took a damage.
Yep. So, that was really the only interesting thing that happened in that combat. Combat progressed, the two water elementals were defeated, and the party moved on. So just outside the pond, we found a hallway of shifting sand, along with the walls of shifting sand. And we need to walk across this hallway in order to get where we were going. The problem was that the sand wasn't steady, and if you weren't careful, you sunk in, and then you need to pull yourself out in order to continue moving forward. So, Mongo grabbed Den of Love and charged across the sand, and then sunk into the sand. Dildo thought she'd be clever and tried climbing along the walls. To find that there was no help there, she slipped, bit her tongue, and took a damage, and sunk into the sand. Mew decided that she was going to, take care of this. She charged across to the sand, tripped, hit her head, and fell unconscious for a while, and sunk into the sand. Dr. Wankenstein's fleshlight, also known as figured that his great strength would take care of this issue for him, and went about 2 steps before he sunk into the stand. He stayed there for most of the challenge. Spike decided that, she wasn't going to be doing this. She was going to go a completely unorthodox way and used the party members already stuck as stepping stones as she jumped across, left off Mongo, who made it the farthest, did a half turn in the air, landed, and sunk into the sand. Den of Love, seeing all this, believed that she may have been hindering Mongo, so she jumped off to take off the excess weight, went a few feet, and sunk into the sand.
I didn't sink.
And, yeah, I think you sunk. You sunk at least once.
I don't remember. Maybe I did.
And so began the longest skill challenge ever, where it was basically people would pull themselves up and immediately sink down. So this went on for about 40 minutes or so. Eventually, a couple people were able to make it across the sand, threw a rope down the hallway to everyone, and the Mongo then pulled everyone in, till finally everyone had made it through the sand hallway. Now, the next room we had thought was an open room with enemies, but we were in fact mistaken, and was in fact a hallway with a door.
Yeah, the physics god showed up.
Physics god showed up, saw this, facepalmed for about 15 minutes, and then took pity on the party and changed around the world so that we wouldn't be slaughtered immediately.
I just want to say that the people who had the biggest problems with the sands, they all, Anyways, go on.
Yeah, well, when the fleshlight had the most trouble. Yeah. Anyway, so into the hall. So there's a locked door there, and Spike, now that the rogue was dead, pushed everyone back, said, "You know what? I got this. I got the tools. I can open this lock." And she didn't. She essentially fiddled around with it for a while, and their tools broke up into the lock. Mongo saw this and said, "Screw this."
Something happened before that.
What?
Jess ran into the door and activated all the things because she just tried to open the door.
Oh, I left this here.
Yeah.
Okay.
She ran up, tried to open the door, and it was locked.
This is not Miu's recap. This is Dalkey's recap, okay?
Yes. Well, Dildo is our trap sensor. She runs ahead with no regard of anything and sets off all the traps. But anyway, Mongo was going to go bust open the doors, but he realized that he hadn't been ordered to, so he just kind of gave it a light push. But then, Den of Love said, "Yes, smash the door." So Mongo completely destroyed the doors, sending shrapnel flying to find a bunch of earth elementals who, hearing the door bang open for like about 10 minutes, had gathered all around. This actually proved to be advantageous, as Miu stepped forward and released her breath weapon, spreading flames across the room as pieces of the door still flew through the air. The rest of the party then broke out into bitching guitar solos. So began this combat. I will note a few things just to start because they were consistent throughout the combat. One is that Spike basically stayed in the hallway, dancing around, throwing like little fireballs at the elementals, and basically lived a charmed life, not getting even a scratch.
No, I think Spike did take 8 damage during the combat.
No, he claims he didn't take any damage at the end of it. So, and the other consistent part is that in the thick of it, Mongo would smash the elementals. The elementals would only want to smash Mongo, and then Den of Love would heal up Mongo. This basically went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Anyway, so the main combat was joined. There were several little Earth Elementals plus 2 big ones. The Earth Elementals were largely whittled away. But the big elementals were smashing like crazy, and they eventually got in a good shot that punched Miyu to death. This is where things got interesting. Because after seeing yet another person gain the sweet, sweet release of death, and it not being him, lost it. Flipped the fuck out. And said that he was gonna punch everyone. His first target would be Den of Love. Now, he missed in the first punch. However, Mongo, Den of Love's protector, observed this and didn't take kindly to it, and to show his dissatisfaction in the situation, buried an axe into Fleshlight's skull. Den of Love saw this, said, "No, Mongo, don't do this, fight the elementals," which Mongo was fine, okay, he's gonna do this. Dildu, who, vowing to completely disrespect, her friend's dying request, and loot her as soon as the combat was over, and, I don't know, maybe slap the corpse around a little bit, too, got involved by casting a swarm of spiders on one of the large elementals. This slightly irritated the elemental, and he showed this by punching through the wall and killing Dildu.
It's like 60 damage.
Yes, it was very smushy time. So that's two. So to recap, 2 party members dead, 1 party member flipping the fuck out, attacking everyone. Now, it was, Fleshlight was up, and Mongo was going to show him leniency, but then he attacked both Mongo and Den of Love. Mongo wasn't taking this shit, another axe to the skull. Again, Den of Love convinced him to focus on the elementals. He walked away, and now Fleshlight, having only enemies directly within the range of fists, and made invincible by only having 1 hit point, fully joined them into the combat. So combat progressed. One of the large elementals went down. The last little elemental went down. There's only the big one left, and he killed Fleshlight, granting him the release that he so lovingly sought. And then the rest of the party, Den of Love basically using up pretty much all of her healing to keep Mongo alive, killed the final elemental,
What's his spouse?
leaving only Den of Love, Mongo, and Spike left alive. As the last elemental died, one of the walls crumbled. The 3 remaining members, after looting the corpse of Fleshlight and stuffing the bodies of Miyu and Dildu into a bag for resurrection later, went through the passage and came to a large space where there was an old temple there. There were a couple figures chatting with each other, and a bunch of harpies flying around.
No, they argued with each other first whether they should go back to town or not.
Yeah, that's true. There was some debate on whether to go back to town, although it was noted that the various challenges, the win one, as you heard from the last recap, that half the party basically threw up their hands and said, "Fuck this," and left. Sorry, cat issues.
It's right there.
Damn it, Reed. Anyway, and then the sand one that took 40 minutes, that we would need to go through these challenges not only to get out, but to come back in. It was decided to continue on and check out this temple thing. Still, all the harpies flying around, the fact that we had just gotten beaten up in a combat, gave us pause. Well, it was decided to approach the 2 people and see what could be had. It turns out that the two people who were chatting were drow. And they were willing to chat with us. They asked, first they wanted to know who was the master. And there was some debate over that because no one wanted to take blame. It was eventually decided that since Mongo blindly followed Den of Love, clearly she was the master. So they asked, what are you doing down here? They were a touch miffed that their security system was completely wiped out. And Den of Love decided that honesty would be best, and said we were sent here to retrieve the stone with the claw. The drow weren't exactly thrilled with this, but since we weren't immediately attacking and stealing stuff from them, decided, what, we'll work this out. So, Mongo got taken to the slave quarters, got like a little crappy room. Spike got taken to nicer quarters, like a Holiday Inn and stuff, to rest up and sleep and eat. And Den of Love got sent to the penthouse, like the Ritz-Carlton, plenty of stuff, full banquets.
There was 5 man horse.
There were 5 man whores. Basically all who, sadly she wasn't impressed with because none of them were hurt. None of them needed healing. So she was sad about that.
I still have fun.
Yes. But fun was still had, and that's basically where we ended things. So hopefully we'll have some nice pictures and drawings. I don't know who's doing all the deaths, but we have several death pictures in the recap, and the going away thing, and that will be it. And next week, hopefully, Joe will be doing this.
Bye!
There we go.